I get a ton of game requests and recommendations, both directly from devs and my Discord, and I have to pass up a lot of them. I also have too many tabs open, and sometimes I get stuck and don't upload anything. So, seemingly by necessity, I need to make a video like this, where I just show all the games I'm aware of, even though this can't compare to all of the games that come out, like, every day. But hopefully I properly get to acknowledge some devs at this point now. This game is called Refresh: A Tale of Two Tabs. It is a game about the refresh button on the tab being an actual mechanic, and you have to pick up these strange relics and get them into a cauldron. I've recorded like 10 minutes and I have not finished it. I feel like the final solution is going to involve so many refreshes that, and also of course the second tab, that it feels a bit overwhelming to play this game, even though it's actually only a couple minutes to do the solution and there's only like 9 rooms. However, you definitely will not have seen these mechanics in any other game. Same creator of this made Pause to Play as well, which is a video of mine that gained over 1 million views, and I don't even know why. So I made this video of the history of I Want a Lockpick, which wasn't a playthrough video, but it was the history of similar and previous games, such as Keypick. And Lockpick is actually a fan game of Keypick. And Lockpick is a long-time series of mine, but apparently the Keypick creator was actually working on another Lockpick-like game. More accurately, this would be described as like a sequel to Keypick. And now the store page of that is out. Not the game, not a demo, just the store page. Please no one interpret this letter as this letter A as a different letter. Anyway, Soko Worst preview by Not There Yet. A preview of Soko Worst, a sequel to Soko. I hope you actually enjoy this. What's so bad? Like, how is this bad? I mean, okay, for some reason you get stuck on the flag. What do you think this is, Baba? So you get stuck. So the joke is that you get stuck on all objects. Is that it? Looks Soko cursed. Town Frame is a game that's going to come out where you recreate towns from people's memories. Someone like gives you instructions and then you use those instructions to create a scene that fits with them. It's also apparently a tool shot mechanic. There's the demo it's releasing on October 8th. A game called Valley of Shadows demo is out, and man, the graphics are so nice looking on it. I do not know the mechanics, but I think there's like magic spells. It's also somewhat based off a true story. If you read about this game, you can see that it's experienced the dramatic telling of a traumatic event in the lives of one of the developers. Actually, I have no idea how many developers are involved in the traumatic event. Wow, did I really just say that sentence? Anyway, there's fantasy spells, like light and shadow, and seems like there's 4 gemstones here. One of the main mechanics is a force missile, which can apparently explode some tunnels. A lot of effort was put in this about this game section. OS Windows 10 though. I personally have not heard of this game, but there's a game called Chipwits that is a 1984 programming game that was on the Commodore, but now there's a remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, that of course is like way different in terms of graphics, but probably retains the same kinds of puzzle mechanics. Obviously in the programming puzzle game genre, seems like there's basic actions about moving the robot, but also leaderboards. I think this shot looks pretty cool. Picking up items, looping, just the classic programming puzzle game fare. There's a demo out now, but the planned release date is in 2025. Apparently also beta test invites are open for it. Robot Detour. So the demo of this game is out, and it seems like it's about connecting a robot vehicle that is basically a wire. So maybe similar to a game called Filament, which also you control a wire in there. And there's also enemies and various mechanics. Guess what? Parking is now a puzzle game. The demo is out, and you have to spend fuel on every move, and you can turn. Also, there's some way to go diagonal with something on the floor. There's trash cans. Coming out Q4. This game's called Toggle Tile. The demo is out right now, and it's like you can see the effects of all the tiles just written on the tile itself. So, like this one toggles the top left and top middle tile, and then you can also rotate the middle tile with a different one. So there's tons of interactions apparently with it, and probably lots of spaghetti too, and locks and different color schemes. How come the release date says August 23 here and 2025 down here? This is a puzzle game called Rats in a Cage. It's mostly about levers and unlocking doors, but there's other rats that get in the way, gameplay-wise. However, there's also a lot of intermissions, like this intermission right here with toilets and other rats, and those intermissions seem to be part of the corporate satire plot, but I don't think the gameplay has been cursed so far, although the dev did say there was some special fourth wall breaking stuff, which I do not know. I cannot confirm. But I personally really hope the game delivers on the satirical in terms of puzzle elements. I also have these uploads coming up, one of which is Miss Paint. It really something I'm really looking forward to. It's a game where you can copy, move, rotate, do all sorts of image manipulation inside a computer. It's like a puzzle platformer. Since I'm like saying this after I had filmed the video, the new demo has new mechanics. Super looking forward to it. The other game is The Sacrifice, which has incredible visuals. The end animation is really satisfying, and there is a demo with like 6 small worlds in it. It's a puzzle game with mirrored controls, so you control both yourself and a character with mirrored controls to you. So there's a combination of like not having undo, a move counter, and so you have to reset on every mistake. That's a bit odd. Also, the level select is like a bit immersion breaking considering there actually is a hub. But anyway, yeah. Apparently there's a game where you play as a grandma. And this is a Metroidvania puzzle platformer. You smack things around with a broom, and there are spells. Is this the Hag Max thing that the Zoomers are talking about? Yeah, a demo is out right now. It's coming out like next month. Foul Damage's full version came out today. This is a puzzle platformer that does have some precision elements, like there are enemies to avoid, but the mechanic is that you can't fall too hard or you die. There's like optional feathers as basically collectible secrets. I played a demo. I still have only 11 out of 12 collectibles in the demo. They've hit the 12th one really well or something. Graphics are nice too. I still don't have a review key for this game. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. It's not like I ever asked. On maybe a more sad note, Divide by Sheep 2 came out and it still has no user reviews. It's just weird because like the first Divide by Sheep came out like 10 years ago. Kind of weird this came out with like no fanfare at all. Also only has 4 reviews in the App Store. I mean, I actually thought it was more recent because when I first saw this store page, it was on September 19th. I was like, did I miss this just came out? No. I don't know if I should talk about the games I played last month, because, like, that's kind of fitting. But Croquet Conundrum, I did an all-endings video on it. The mechanics get so deep, even though it looks simple, and, like, apparently, I only learned this after finishing the whole game. The mechanics of the game are incredibly faithful to the real game Croquet. And I remember calling the mechanics seemingly arbitrary when they were super faithful. And yeah, this game does some surprising things. Also a rule refresher book and a really great hint system. There's like weird, not obvious edge cases about piping and stuff that like makes up a bunch of the surprising factors in it. Maxwell's Puzzling Demon is also a game that I've been doing a series on. This is a game that on the surface is about temperature, about hot and cold, but so many surprises are in this game. There's hub overworld puzzles, and pistons and stuff the trailers didn't even show at all, and a massive amount of levels. The developer's also in the process of adding a hint system, and like every level gets a hint if you press H. Although it's funny that like even the easiest levels in the game have hints. The creator of this also made a bunch of custom Parabox levels and packs that were also really long and explored a ton of mechanics. Also, a game called Veggie Quest has been a long-running series for me for a while. This is the game where you have to build the longest possible path for a dungeon, and the character is controlled by an AI. The AI will always find the shortest path. So you intentionally need to build a very long dungeon, and there's like tons of mechanics in this game as well. You can see that I've recorded this after I've already finished it, but point is, the developers have a spin-off game, Minesweeper Topology, which you can play now, it's just a download, but also the more full game Sudoku Topology, which is coming out in November, but the demo is already out. A fan of the channel, whose name is No Face, has a new puzzle game demo out called Discharge. Seems like it could have interesting mechanics, but like, why does it start with like Sokoban puzzles? It makes it seem like the game doesn't have a mechanic yet early on. The developer that's legit a long-time viewer. I've even recorded a unfinished test playthrough for a game by them like 2 years ago. The Last Blue, also recommended by someone on my Discord. Incredibly nice looking, and it's in the same like language, rule discovery game, like Heaven's Vault or Chance of Sonar. I bothered Christopher Suavier with this, but there's a roguelike of tic-tac-toe now. It's called Tic Tactic. Another dev in my Discord also made Card Draw, which managed to get #1 in its game jam, and the premise is just great. You're making equations out of a deck of cards. It's being updated. Very looking forward to playing this, as I've seen people enjoy it, but I've not yet played it myself at the time of recording this. There's a game called Theta and Paradox, which is both top-down and has some 3D, seemingly. The character can split into multiple and not get crushed by boxes. It's like eyes and lights as well. I also really like the aesthetic and color scheme they have on this page. This game somehow ended up in my tabs list, and it's clearly not recent at all. I don't know how this got here. I'm hoping that this game is actually, like, somehow secretly a subversive satire or something, but it's probably not. This Frog Fractions 3. This is not a recent release, but it was in my tab for some reason, and I'm surprised to not know about it. Like, it looks really unique in that it's a game played on, like, a fully physical and convincingly physical table. Probably not that puzzly, though. Also, this is in my tabs. Do not find the fox.com. I don't even know if this is a real game. It's probably not. I have one attempt on it already, and I'm not kidding. It's because I won. Apparently, only 13% of people have that win in one. I'm pretty sure I just got lucky. There you go. Okay, anyway. This guy has apparently made a very dumb word searcher book where there's 200 pages and the word fox appears just once. How about another book where you can find over 20,000 cows? What an amazing book. Apparently this is a legit puzzle game, although probably more cozy platforming game about controlling electricity and mouse. There's a content update to 14 Mindstorm variants too. This is a game I made a bunch of thumbnails and videos and cursed thumbnails on, and even inspired a custom mechanic called the square root mechanic. The content update is locked behind beating like 10 or 30 levels or whatever of this. I haven't even got it. It's too much to unlock the safe, to unlock all of the cursed content in this game. But there is a content update. The developer of Lock, which is a puzzle book, this game has a digital release, but only the demo is out for it, and I did the video on the demo like a year ago. In fact, they have like 2 months if they want to hit 2024 to release this. This game is awesome. It's a great digital adaptation for a good puzzle book. Well, actually, that was not the dev's only puzzle project. Abdeck is probably the one that's most similar. It's also a puzzle book. And it's about figuring out the rules of these letters, even though there's no instruction on what the letters do, or their particular shape, or the symbols in the grid. It also has a nice burned book aesthetic. There's also a physical release for this too. This goes in the video because Herd is the newest project. This is a game themed about sheep and shepherds. Shepherds can effectively ride on sheep, but they have to move as far as possible, so the moving as far as possible is kind of like an ice puzzle. But apparently for this game, the physical release is more important. It's planned to basically have physical game pieces, and apparently you can't experience the second part of the game properly without that physical element. However, I have looked through part of the book, and there's definitely elements that are not just the puzzles. There's some cool meta stuff going on, but that's also true for the previous games Lock and Abdeck from this creator. On the subject of puzzle books, a fan of mine has also made Crossword Beyond, which seems inspired by the 12 word searches game that I also covered, and how surprising this is. So we'll probably aim in that same direction of having meta surprise, and there's also CBA twicely in here. Again, this is not quite a new release, but there's also a different puzzle book called House, which also has some meta puzzling elements. It's seemingly 25 puzzles, and each of them is about finding a 5-letter word. I haven't gotten to this at all. I've only recorded very little of it, and this one is big. It's at least 50 pages long. And some of these puzzles are really abstract. I happen to know the solution to that one, but I don't know the solutions for the majority of them. There's some Bob. You know what? Well, goodbye. I'm ending the video now.